We're here with another Roll for Crit preview, this time with Drinks with Frenemies. If you haven't guessed from the title, it's all about drinking with your friends and enemies.
Yeah, sometimes both of them together in the same person.
Honestly, I've never met one that doesn't both.
Yeah, we're a complicated group. You may be as well. In which case, you might enjoy this drinking game. So it's very simple. It's very simple setup. Anybody can learn it. You've got one deck of cards right here. We have this lovely play mat, which you may or may not have. It is not required to play the game by any means. And you're going to be, on each of your turns, you'll be playing a card from your hand. There are a few different types of cards. The main one that you're going to see are rules cards. So if you've played a game like Flux, then you'll be familiar with how this works. Basically, the rule is something that is now in play, and everyone has to follow it. And usually, if you mess up, you take a drink.
Yes, they fall into two groups. The group rule and the frenemy rule. Group rule pretty much usually affects everyone. You can be two at a time, and like Flux, it pretty much just changes the game, such as the floor may be lava, or as these say, you can't say certain things, and you have to drink when you do. The frenemy, on the other hand, pretty much makes it so whoever plays it has an advantage. Usually it may be like, anytime, if I were to play one, like the first one we played, was anytime I went choo-choo, the last person to do this, not including me, had to drink. So it's sort of more of a hurtful card, I guess you could say.
It usually only affects you or someone that you choose. So that's the other thing. You could declare like a certain rule, but only one person has to abide by it. So if you know that there's one friend in your group that is more likely to do something or say something in a certain way, you can kind of pick on them or what have you for any reason that you really want, or if you just don't like them.
Right, hence frenemy rule. Of course, all of these can be replaced whenever someone else plays another card.
Right, so the rules are constantly changing.
In addition, there are these one-time effect cards: game, drink, and special. Special usually is not really affecting others, more like ignore drinks for the next round or shuffle some cards in the discard pile, things like that. It's, I guess, not
like
really
power-ups,
yes.
Upgrades to your playstyle.
When game is usually like you play a one-time effect game and everyone has to play. It could be like flip a card, everyone guesses heads or tails. Whoever doesn't guess right drinks.
Some of them are, like traditional. Like there was like a never have I ever kind of one. Maybe that was in one of the additional packs. Yeah. Or there's like a hot potato kind of one.
It's your mini game.
Yeah, mini games.
And finally, drink is usually just some weird way to make people drink. Like everyone but you drinks. That was one. I found these in my hand. Bully. There's one that was choose whoever met you the most recently for the first time has to drink, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's like one-time silly ways to make people drink.
The game ends when a game over card is drawn and played. There isn't really a winner. You're really just playing this game to get drunk, which is pretty much how all drinking games are anyway, whether they tell you there's a winner or not. The other thing that we haven't brought up yet is there's also a community cup.
Yes, when the game begins, everyone pours a bit of their drink into this cup. Now, some of the cards do say it, but if you say you have to drink from it, but then you could also choose to, if you didn't want to participate in something, you can choose to drink from that cup instead.
Yeah, or sometimes cards will just have as a penalty, you get to drink from that community cup. There's also an option where if you don't like the community cup for whatever reason, you can have a side cup, which means your own drink in another cup with something else added into it by other players.
Yes, one thing. And then, for example, they said in the rules, pickle juice. So it's probably not something you want to drink.
Unless your friends are really nice.
Yeah. No, it's actually just water. Ha, you don't have to get drunk.
Mountain Dew. Ugh. Anyway, so that's how the game plays. That's the gist of it. It goes from 3 players to really as many as you can fit. Did they actually say a limit?
It just says 3
plus.
Yeah.
So you can, as many people as you can think you can get around the table and make this work. What's nice about it is it's very free-form. There's actually a rule that if someone's not there, just skip their turn. It's very much intended for a party where people are coming in and out, meeting people, having fun. It's definitely low stakes. Low effort.
Yeah, there's no point system, and like I said, the winner really is just who's at the table. Everyone's a winner and a loser at the same time, just like drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Alcohol, this cause and solution of all life's problems. But
before we go any further, we'll just say there are currently 2 expansions. There is the curse word one, which
the not safe for work edition.
Pretty much, you can probably guess
it's not safe for work.
And then the retro one, But this isn't retro in the sense of like 80s pop trivia or something weird like that. It's more of like your original old school drinking games or references.
Yeah, and all of them can be, some of that can be played standalone or mixed all together for even bigger decks. They also, I know, have plans for several more decks in the future that are going to be coming out with different themes for different groups, so you can keep track of all that. So we tried the game out. You don't have to drink while playing it, but I would say I think it depends on your group. Some people are maybe goofier by nature, but I definitely think for me and our group, this is a game that you probably want people to be a drink or two in to really get the full effect of it, because there's a lot of very silly things you're going to be making each other do. And for me, at least, much more fun and funnier when everyone's kind of drunk already.
Oh, absolutely.
But you could play it not drinking at all if you really wanted to.
Well, I think it's not that this game holds it. It's any kind of these...
Any drinking game, really.
Well, not even that. Just, in particular, any of these really party games, because this isn't really the game like, oh, I got most points, so I'm the best winner or something. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just having fun drinking to bring some more flair, I guess, to if you're at a party drinking, is you have to know the people you're drinking with. For example, the Community Cup idea really relies on, if you use their base rules, I think assuming everyone's having a different drink. But if you're at something like a kegger, for example, and everyone's pulling from the same keg, that Community Cup sort of loses some of its value.
Right.
So you have to sort of bend the rules, so to speak, that fits everyone there, which isn't hard, and that's the nice thing about it. It's not meant to have this, it's not like chess, like, no, if the rook doesn't move that way, that changes everything.
If you're looking for chess, look elsewhere. The Community Cup was, I'm a person who does not like sharing drinks with other people, so I like that they give that little option there, which is nice. You can also refuse to do like a challenge if it's brought to you, which you have to drink from the Community Cup if you don't, or your side cup. There's lots of levels you can go to, so you don't have to do anything necessarily that makes you uncomfortable. I would say compared to some other drinking games we've played, nothing out, at least maybe the Not Safe for Work introduces more elements like that, but nothing in the base was super like weird or awkward that's going to make you feel really uncomfortable. It was more just being silly, kind of.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that as much.
Like, that's why it's definitely the kind of game where you wouldn't want to play with a lot of people drinking. You just adjust for what drinks people are drinking, what people like to drink. If you all have the same drink, or if they all actually are different. So it's less of a fault to the game, but more of just what the situation calls for.
Yeah, if you're going to play it, think about it, plan your night, or don't, or just take it out when you're drinking, and who cares? Because I think that's the great thing about a lot of the cards are really funny, and there's a good amount in the deck, so you are going to get a good variety. Your mileage may vary, like some of them we found and were kind of, this one's maybe doesn't seem that funny, or just doesn't work with this number of players, but this one really does, and you have a hand of three, so that's why you get to decide.
With the frenemies, like if you were to target one person, obviously depending with your group, you can make some of the most hilarious things. Like we talked about, wow, if this person got this card, it would just be hysterical.
And some of the cards also even have where you get to either fill in a blank or choose from a list, so you can customize it a little bit. So even if you get the same card again, maybe you'll put a different spin on it that way as well. Overall, I mean, as far as drinking games go, this is definitely a really good one.
I will say that it doesn't at least fall into what I find could be a problem with a lot of drinking games I've played, is that you don't drink enough.
That's definitely true. You will be drinking a lot for sure, yeah.
And you don't feel bad for drinking. I think since there's no real, it's not really like, sometimes it's your life you've seen sometimes, or sometimes, you drink only when you've done something really bad and you lose points for it.
Right.
You don't feel like that. You could just like, you know what, I'm going to drink right now. Deal with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It avoids both of those pitfalls. You're not the loser for drinking. You're playing this game to drink.
And with the rules constantly changing, because the group rules in front of me, odds are even if you try to follow, you're going to screw up and have the drink eventually anyway.
Yeah. At some point, I'm pretty sure that you will. So we had a lot of fun with Drinks with Frenemies. You can check out the description below for the links to find the game on your own if you want to check it out. If you like drinking games, give it a shot. No pun intended. Or was it? Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and I hope those hangovers don't hit you too hard.